If I make it out, I'm coming straight home to you and hugging you till the day I die. Your husband, quota the loud.
There's just something about following up your husband with quota that's really
These books alone are worth 100,000 gold pieces. Of course, that's only with the university's price. In reality, it's only 100.
Ooh, can you sing?
No.
Can you play the spoon?
No.
Can you do anything in person?
I'm a banker. No.
Fair enough.
That's pretty much what he did in our last campaign, was barbarian, naked, sword out, all at way.
Yes!
You're injured. You're bleeding all over the place.
Good eyes, handsome. I am bleeding. I open the door and walk in.
Good
Stop.
eyes.
Stop. Like,
Howdy, lizard folk.
and right off the bat, he looks offended.
You hear what he described as a baby girl screaming. I want to hear it in live. That's a goat. Pounding on the door, followed by suddenly everything stops, and you hear running, and then Quota sees Curtis jump out the window, dive ahead, try to grab the head, but it's an illusion, so he goes through it, and just goes right to the ground. Oh. Curtis, you're here! Where did it go? I'm on the ground laughing my ass off. Thank you. And I'm gonna go punch a badger.
Okay.
Okay.
That kind of sounds like it could have been a euphemism that he did not need to know about. He just go much faster without.
Do you prefer to start, be the climax, or end it in the bank?
Normal conversation.
Yeah.
I've said that many times in my life.
And here we are. Welcome. Welcome back, everyone. Yes, we have one player. Yeah. Well, I can't call you Cedar anymore. What's your character's name now?
Elsinore.
Elsinore. Okay. Did I spell it wrong on the name thing then? Eleznor. I guess it should be Elze. But
Elze.
okay.
Nor.
Okay. I'll switch in a little bit. But hi. So. Not gonna lie to you, I'm scared stiff of running this, and I don't feel prepared. That whole the whole weekend that we had last weekend with Project Georgia has just taken up all of my attention, even afterwards. Just all the incredible reactions and feedback from it, and it was just absolutely amazing. So thank you to everyone who tuned in or showed up and everything. It was great to do that for the VR chat community, and just been completely overwhelmed by the response. But we are going to get started in a little bit here. We are waiting for one more person to arrive, and that would be William, who will be playing Bernard, the half-elf sorcerer. So Jay, who will be playing Male, the elf druid, and Quota, of course, Quota, human barbarian. So Jay and Mikey playing Quota will not be here tonight. But yeah, James is here with Elsinore and Mishka, human cleric. So mostly human party this time, other than Male being an elf druid. So and I'm also getting used to controlling the music with the stream deck. So I'm gonna try to keep that under control. And vote, that was actually the request I had in the chat for, give me some feedback, you guys, if you would, on if the music balance and the voice balance and everything sounds right. I don't want to, I want you to be able to hear the music, but not drown out the voices, obviously. So, let me start, I guess, by bringing up world map, which I can also do for this. There we go.
Production value.
Production
Yay.
value, yes. I may not know what I'm doing in this campaign, but I can make a map and I can show it. Alright, so if you are familiar with the Mana series, you may recognize a few of the names of the countries on this map. Kingdoms and stuff that have shown up throughout the Mana series that generally encompass like a single city. You know, one single city was considered a kingdom, and now they have expanded and claimed a lot of territory. So those are most of the setting of this campaign. So if you've played Secret of Mana and Secret of Mana 2, you might recognize some of these. You've got the lots for so our party, our scene, is going to start off in Embermount here, in this little town of Idella, nestled in this little bay. Right in there is about where we're starting. And that might actually be a little bit too loud. That music is too loud. Okay. Give me a second.
Right?
5 cantrips? What?
Yeah, because it's all. I get 3 from any list.
Alright. Vote, how's that? Is that better? Is that better, guys? I realize it takes a little bit for the stream to get to you and you guys be able to respond, but hopefully that'll be better. Better while still being able to hear us, whatever. So. I'm kind of, I don't want to start without William, even though he's not going to be introduced quite immediately, but a little more. You want it lower, a little bit lower still? All right. I just brought it down one more notch. How's that?
Lower. Is it going to be that kind of campaign? Stay tuned to find out.
It's always that kind of campaign.
Mark is not here, so it might not be.
Well, he will
At
be
least
though.
today.
Who are our characters that usually turn a scene sexual?
Mikey.
I feel like Mikey's the character who turns a scene violent.
Mikey does both.
Still more though? Really? Or do you just not like the music? Is that it? Because like at this point I can't hear it.
Yeah, it's hard for me.
Yeah.
And I'm by a speaker.
The thing is, maybe the way you've adjusted the dial on your speaker.
That's true, that's true. Let me bring this back up so that we can hear it, and I'll turn down... I had desktop audio really high because I was doing improv in VR chat.
I saw that, right?
Oh yeah, did you see the whole thing?
Part of it.
Part of it.
Spider-Man was gone, but he came back. Does the moderator read off a script, or does he come up with the prompts themselves?
They come up with most of the prompts themselves that they get through a list. And all right, tell me how that is. Since we don't have all our players, I'd rather focus on the audio feedback and stuff first.
How are you feeling today, Chad?
Yeah, how you guys doing? I see we've got 3 viewers, but we've only got 1 who's talking, so I'd like to hear from the rest of you.
Well, one of those is probably us, right?
No.
No?
It does not. It doesn't count me when I'm viewing it through the dashboard.
Okay.
But what was it though? I don't even remember what
We were saying like how are the chat feeling? You said you wanted to talk to them down at William's side.
Yeah. You're good. How are we? I'm good. Had my birthday yesterday.
Ooh,
I'm
congratulations.
35, which if you asked my mother, my own mother would now say that I'm older than her, which according to her I have been for several years now, so. I'm 35, she's still 29. That's funny how that works. But, okay, does that audio sound good? Obviously you can hear me because you're responding, but thank you.
He could
Thank
be
you
a
for the birthday
telepath.
wishes. What?
He could be a telepath.
He could be a telepath. He could just be scrying. Are you a scrying boat? Not sure. But yeah, I'll let's see. Let me flip back to the OBS. Actually, let me just put it this way. And let's try out a little bit of the other stuff here. So I'm going to try some of the other music. Slightly lower music volume, okay? Now how about that with the different music though? I ran every single MP3 on this thing through a normalizer and they should come out roughly the same volume, but yeah.
I'll be rolling a lot of dice.
You're going to be rolling a lot of dice?
Inflict wounds is 3d10.
That is nice.
Get them ready.
Well, why don't you tell us a little bit about your character then?
Mishka is a cleric, domain of light. She has been working as a mercenary recently. She's got the kids. She bought chainmail, and but it doesn't seem like the mercenary life is completely suiting her at the moment. She's recently has acquired a couple of new scars, and overall she's a pretty quiet character. She likes to listen more than speak, and I guess it's significant that she is a priestess of mana.
Yeah. That could be significant. We'll see. Okay, so you haven't given any further feedback about the music volume. So is that working for you? Maybe just that one particular song was kind of loud. Let us know, will you? And Elsinore. Why don't you tell us a little bit about your warlock?
I'm a warlock for the patron, the Crimson Lord, whose actual name has been lost to history. But he's rumored to be one of the first vampires in the world.
Rumored to be one of the first vampires in the world. Does the world at large kind of have these rumors?
More in the tomes and the libraries and stuff.
Tomes and libraries, okay. Alright.
Ooh, you got the mini too.
Oh,
Nice.
see it?
Yes.
Well, it's like, because I was like, oh, I can blaze it, but I was like, no, because I want to do Ray of Sickness. And so doing that, like, yucky green
Yeah.
with some, like, dry brushing silver for, like, a magical sparkle
Yeah.
effect looked really cool, so I'm like, and now I just, like, and then I just did, what they call liquid talent, which is like, it kind of flows into the cracks and brings out more details.
Okay.
So it just made it look even murkier. So, like, this came out really good.
He loves to paint minis.
I did yours.
You
Which
did.
Jay could use too.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Maybe I'll offer him that.
A painted mini.
Yeah.
At least for this campaign.
Right.
I'm working on Mikey's Barbarian right now.
Oh, nice.
How's that turning out?
Slow. Very slow.
Quotalicious. That is a word that just came out of my mouth.
He loved his bear, so.
He did.
I don't think.
I don't think we were able to use the mini.
Yeah. And I think Tickles disappeared before we started streaming on that
Yep.
campaign, so.
Yep.
Sad days. I miss Tickles. In memoriam of Tickles. Alright,
What's
well.
even better was Fluffy.
The angel.
Fluffy was even better.
Yeah.
He spent money on Fluffy and then
Yeah.
turned around and sacrificed it to Tickles.
Quota is so weird. I don't. Okay. You know what? We're gonna go ahead and get started. I've put this off as long as I can. I'm still scared stiff. It might be a train wreck, but here we go. You can't help but watch a train wreck, so
That's true.
It'll bring in the
it'll
numbers.
bring in the viewers. And I have no combat pre-rolled for this. So I'm hoping that they don't walk up and punch somebody.
Well, you shouldn't have said that then.
Which is probably okay this time since Quota is not here. If Quota was
okay,
here,
fun.
Quota was here, I'd be in trouble.
I could have fun still.
He's a vampire. Like
You are a vampire, yeah.
His patron's a vampire. It's like, I want to feed on those people. Get them ready for me.
So my point in saying that, in spoiling the fact that I am not entirely prepared, is to tell you that if you subscribe to this channel, you get access to our Discord, where you can suggest NPCs for us to meet and enemies for us to fight. And I could use that right now, so so hey, feel free. All right, well, we're going to go ahead and get started, and I'm going to bring back this music that kind of blew Boat out a little bit. Hopefully it should be better now. Turn that down a bit. There we go. Let me know if that's good. All right, so Mishka, you find yourself, wherever you're from, you find yourself in Embermount.
Okay.
And you are in this port city of Idella, right here at near the mouth of this river. And it's a nice city. It's got paved roads. Has actual paved roads. It's amazing. Music's good. Cool. Actually, that's too loud for me. I kind of want to bring that down a bit. It has actual paved roads. It's got, you know, nice buildings, a nice roof. There's a fountain in the center of town. Might have once been a fishing village in its kind of older days. There's probably still some fishing that goes on around the outskirts, but so you have received some sort of an invitation for your mercenary work in the form of an expedition up north to the Pure Land. And you're supposed to come to Idella to book passage to the Pure Land, which is up this way. And what you've been told from the information from the brochure, basically, is mainly focusing on scouting and exploration and charting things and mapping the land. It's generally not a very well-known land. Like, people know it exists, but I mean, nobody really knows a lot about what's there. So as you are walking into town, you do, of course, see a shipyard near the coast.
Was I given a particular name or place I need to go, or am I just, as an individual, booking a ship to go there?
I think you would be booking as an individual. Hey, there he is.
Hello.
How you doing? Cool.
With the plan of meeting people and possibly finding someone to share the costs with, Mishka would like to visit a tavern or inn or bar near the docks.
Okay.
And just kind of order a drink and just sit there and try to listen to other people's conversation. Trying to figure out if there's anybody else there that looks like they're the kind of person that would go up there, up north.
Okay. Alright, so you go into the tavern and there's some music playing and you hear this thing is so nice, guys. The boy has arrived. Yes, he has. So you go into the tavern, there's some music playing, and barkeeper says, so where are you from? He's just politely making conversation as he mixes your drink.
Are there people sitting immediately next to me?
Immediately next to you?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's one guy next to you.
Okay.
He has a full beard, looks like he's been... Sorry, I gotta plug in William's laptop here. Alright. He has a full beard and looks about middle-aged. Looks like he's been sailing a few times.
Mishka will awkwardly try to make it look like the question was addressed to him and be like, and then go back to whatever she was doing.
Guy just kind of looks at you. Can you describe your character, please?
So Mishka is pretty short, very skinny. The chainmail is obviously too big for her. She has two relative recent scars on her face, and you get the feeling that whatever room she's in, she tries to be the least noticeable person in it.
That'll be a change for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, after playing Curtis.
Let's see. Is there anything you feel like I left out? Short stature, blonde hair, green eyes.
Blonde hair, green eyes. Okay.
She does carry a mace on her side as a shield on her back.
Okay.
And the more observant people will also notice a crossbow poking out of her backpack.
Okay. You look like you've been out there in the wilds, Missy. It's the guy next to you.
Mishka nods. Has
Bartender
the,
serves you.
Okay. Yeah, I was about to ask, has he offered anything? Mishka will put down a silver piece
Okay.
and grab the drink and try to. Well, she nods to the barman, so to speak,
Mhm.
and try to find a corner of the room which Ideally, she would like a corner where she can be relatively unseen, but also have good vision of everybody in the bar as well.
Okay. Where's my phone? It's right in front of me.
Does she see anyone that immediately sticks out, like a sore thumb? Are there any vampires here?
There do not appear to be any vampires that you know.
Well, that was your chance, James. You can't be in the campaign anymore. We lost our one chance.
I try to not start them in a tavern, and what happens? Mishka heads straight for the tavern.
Drunk.
Right. No, most of the other patrons look like residents of the city. They look, they might look kind of like nobility. I mean, there's maybe not so much nobility, but I mean they're wearing nice clothes. They're not expecting to get dirty. They're the guy who was sitting next to you at the bar is kind of the only one who looks a little bit more, shall I say, seasoned, like he's been out there quite a bit and stuff.
So, do I have a like a piece of paper, like in Western movies, you know, the wanted posters?
Should I cue up the D&D Goes West music?
Well, I mean, sure, why not? So, I'm wondering if I have some kind of paper like that advertising the job I have, or any kind of paper saying that I received
Well, I mean,
this job.
you've got that brochure. Yeah.
Okay. So, after like 15-20 minutes of observing the place and seeing this is probably the only guy here that would know anything, I would like to go up to him and place a piece of paper on the bar.
What's this? He picks it up, takes a look, slides it back to you. Not interested, thanks. I'm already going there. You mute or something, lady? No offense to all of the VR chat mutes out there.
This one's for you.
Yeah.
She ponders a bit and takes out a gold piece and places it on the brochure.
Guy pockets the gold piece. You want me to take you there? He sighs, finishes his drink, sets a couple silver on the counter.
So before we venture any further,
Yeah.
Does the job mention any specifics, or is the only thing I know the fact that I'm going there to explore and chart the place?
It does mention that being able to hold your own against wild animals would be useful.
Okay. So, yeah, I'm gonna see what this guy says after taking my claim.
Well, he was just gonna say, well, shipyard's that way, and I'll show you which one.
So as we're walking toward the ship, I don't know if he would notice since he's in the front, but if there was a camera and an audience, the audience would noticeably see Mishka like growing even paler and paler as they go near the sea, but she's not saying anything. She's just going along.
Mishka does not like the sea, I guess, or gets seasick. Ah, okay. Boat's calling you a mute old lady. I don't know that Mishka's old. How old is she?
She's 18.
She's 18. Okay. All right. So he.
She's old at heart.
She's old at heart. Okay. Okay. She's been through a bit in a short time. Okay. So the guy is kind of grousing as he leads you back towards the shipyard, and where's my town music? So we've got that again, and he's kind of grousing. My break wasn't supposed to be over for another 15 minutes, but
Mishka gives a very like understanding, sympathetic, like puppy eyes.
he doesn't
nod.
see you.
Oh, okay.
He doesn't see you. He's a few steps ahead of you.
Do we get a montage of like us going past ships and like it's a very nice ship first, and then we not that one, and then like it's an okay ship, no, not that one. And it's like the very worst ship there, and like yep, it's that one. Let's go.
No, it's he actually leads you aboard the OK ship.
Oh, okay, that's nice.
And he goes, if you're looking for another drink, there's some piss in there in the thing they call a tavern aboard this ship. And he seems to think it's a dump, but it looks all right.
Mm-hmm.
And he turns and walks off.
I'm assuming.
And he does tell you there's quarters below deck through that door over here.
Okay, so are there actually quarters, or do we all share the like the hall?
You're gonna have a shared space.
Okay,
Yeah.
works for me. Mishka's just going to go down there.
Into the quarters.
Yes.
The shared space. Okay. You see someone else already unpacking their things and kind of setting up. And James, if you would describe your character, please.
So I'm around 6 foot,
Mm-hmm.
pretty stocky build, like 6 foot, around 200 pounds. But I'm very pale skin, I have shoulder length raven color hair, and I'm in like dark brown leather with dark crimson fabrics.
Ooh.
I definitely look like I shouldn't be going to sea. Like skin tone, like, I look very sick.
No, that makes two of us. So.
Boat wants the dinghy. That's his boat. He wants the crappy one. Okay. So you see this person unpacking and kind of setting up, and I don't know if you'd like to describe anything that you're doing, or anything that Mishka might notice among your things that might stand out, or vice versa.
I think he might notice, depending on how much he knows, that I have a holy symbol for the goddess of mana.
Mm-hmm. Well, I've seen that. I'm from the land of magic, so that makes sense for me. So yeah, I'd have seen it.
Okay, so right off the bat, I don't know about you, but you know that I'm a black cleric.
Or at least a follower.
Yeah.
Okay. That holy symbol looks like a tree. It's in the image of a tree. Okay.
Mishka will probably misinterpret his paleness as like he's nervous and seasick too. So she's going to.
Hello, Chi. Thank you for tuning in.
Hello. He's going to. She doesn't really have a whole lot of stuff to set up, but she's going to settle down kind of near him and start praying.
You have any reaction to that?
Not really.
I assume you're not praying out loud also.
No.
You haven't done anything out loud yet.
No. That is a true statement.
Now I'm just kind of unpacking some books.
You guys just watch. He's building this up. She's totally mute, and then she's gonna get drunk, and she's just gonna go on a raging.
Yeah, my first words are probably going to be some kind of curse word, you know.
Yeah. Her secret is that she's actually a banshee.
Yeah. Now I have to kill you.
All right, and as you guys are settling in, a few minutes later, the door swings open again, and in walks.
Okay, so I'm a human, but I'm gonna ask you a quick question.
Yeah.
Would it have been possible for my character to have been born inside of like a pool of mana?
Not really.
Not really.
No.
Nothing like, oh, I just happened to fall into a vat of magic. Trying to find some way to justify my
I would
sorcery nature.
I would say that would be incredibly rare. So I will say yes to it if this rolls a 100.
Okay.
And it rolled a 91.
Close?
Close.
Very close.
I mean, I was just gonna give you like a real cool thing because typically sorcerers have a reason for their magic, and I was gonna use that as an excuse. It doesn't really affect anything unless.
Well, I mean, if you are from the Magic Kingdom of Althena, it's entirely possible for
Cool.
you to.
Yeah, I'm gonna say I'm from there then.
Okay.
Cool.
So that would be this kingdom up here, which your character also is from. Okay. And
Yeah.
don't know if you two would have ever crossed paths before, but
I don't know either. So if I were to be born into like a vat of magic, would anything happen drastically with my character's appearance?
not really.
Not really. Okay.
Not really. Let me pull that map off a little bit. Yeah, okay.
Got it. Okay. Yeah, so anyway, in steps in a rather large and gangly male human, pale, platinum hair. For some reason he has red eyes.
Okay.
I take notice over the top of my book, but I go right back.
Ah,
Your book.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What kind of book?
My spell book.
Okay.
Ooh.
okay, cool.
Does your spell book?
Oh yeah, I forgot. You two have met before. Chi and Boat. I think you have. Sorry.
I'm assuming you're a lore warlock? Yeah. Can do all the rituals?
Mm-hmm.
Can do all the rituals? Oh well.
I was going to ask, does your book look like a normal book, or does it show that like this is a fancy book, possibly magical?
Is it made of flesh and have like
Yeah.
red glowing runes and?
No.
The scary thing is he looked like he was thinking
Yeah.
about it.
No, it's the spine is dark, and again dark brown. And you have like crimson on the front and back,
Ooh.
and then inside is everything's written in Infernal.
Mishka takes a slight note of the fact that the book matches his suit, and thinks that she should probably get something like that one day. And keeps that to herself.
Nice.
I'm assuming you are also on an expedition?
Mishka pulls out the flyer.
Just give a polite nod.
Good. What kind of armor are you wearing?
Chainmail?
Ah, cool.
And
What are you wearing?
I'm wearing.
it's that kind of campaign
More functional.
already.
I'm wearing more functional traveler's clothes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just because
Yeah. Sorry.
we kind of described what we were wearing.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
My
Like,
bad.
let's figure out what he's wearing.
My bad. I should
cool.
have mentioned that too.
That's cool. That's cool.
Yeah. So. For the sake of this, I'll go ahead and say that we know each other, but only from the travel here.
Okay.
What part of the country were you from? Because I was born near the capital,
Ah.
and then I was raised in the capital.
The capital is right up there at the northern coast, that little
Okay.
port town there.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I was born somewhere where they were doing some freaky magic experiments and
The capital.
Yeah, I was like, that's kind of everything.
illegal experiments.
Oh, well, in that case.
The capital.
The underground of the capital.
Also the capital. No, actually, that might be Feyhold over here. Maybe.
Okay.
You choose.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about this world, so I'm gonna let him decide since that makes it.
Yeah, that's what I was like. You choose.
Because all I'm seeing is a whole bunch of names that don't mean anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some of them don't mean anything. Some of them are randomly generated, and some of them I have actually named.
Okay.
I would say you might have been.
Typically, you want to be probably as far away from the capital as possible.
Yeah. These are some of the random names here that mean
Yeah.
nothing, and
So you give it a meaning.
Probably where that tributary is on the right.
tributary on the right.
Yeah.
This one. Here? Or
Oh, sorry. What are the double lines? Are those roads?
those are roads.
Okay. And what's that H word?
This one?
Yes.
Herbocklin.
Herbocklin. Okay, yeah, so yeah, I kind of grew up in the woods near Herbocklin.
Okay. That would have been a not exactly snow-covered tundra. It wouldn't be like Alaska or anything, but it's a fairly cold climate there. Where you came from in the capital, that is a little bit more snow-covered tundra and stuff.
Oh yeah.
So it's a cold climate, like I said, but there's also a lot of magic that is keeping small local areas like indoors and stuff habitable and pleasant, and in some of the nicer areas of the capital and some of the fancier areas of other cities as well. There's magical auras around outdoor areas. So you have kind of patches of green, warm weather and stuff in the midst of.
So I'm very familiar with that.
Yeah. Thanks, Boat. Glad you like it. All right. Okay. Oh, that's funny.
Long story short, I'm the guy who has been living out in the wilderness and who is a little bit more familiar with the arcane. So to say.
Yeah. Okay.
Did the captain give us a time frame for when they're moving out? Or?
He did. Well, he would have probably groused about it on the way to the docks. to the shipyard. But yeah, they are planning to leave first thing in the morning. So you guys have a little bit of time to kind of settle in. Right now it's late afternoon, early evening. And so you have a little bit of time to explore the town if you would like, as long as you're back on the ship soon, you know, and, or you can explore the ship. There is a bar on the ship as well. So.
Exactly what we need, drunk sailors.
What can we do with a drunken sailor?
Not for the sailors, but when they're off duty. Bye, Chi. Thanks for tuning in. Chi. So if you guys are
I'm
not planning
gonna
to
go take a walk around the town just to get a feel for how things are.
okay,
How are things financially? How are things from a law and order point of view?
okay.
Anything jump out?
It is a very, very well kept town. It is. You see kind of some less prosperous areas the further out you get, but it's, excuse me, I wouldn't say it's a paradise, because that kind of does take it a little too far when you drop that word in D&D. But you or I, if we went there, we would recognize it as a very nice city.
And is it, for a casual traveler, is it easy to know that is the city being governed by like a lord or a council or like directly by a king?
You wouldn't know without any kind of investigating. You would assume that there's some type of government in place, a local government that answers to the larger government of the nation of Embermount.
Mishka makes a note that if she gets rich, she will buy real estate here. It looks good. Good investment.
And you would have noticed that a lot of the towns that you may have been through in traveling through Embermount to get here have quite a similar look.
Okay. Good to know.
Are the other two of you staying on the ship?
Are you? You said you were going out of the ship?
Yes.
Yeah, she's wandering around town.
Yeah.
There's not really any place where you feel unsafe. It feels generally walkable. You might be thinking, man, I should have left the crossbow back at the ship or something, or whatever. But is there any particular place you would like to seek out?
No, I mean, if I have a couple of extra hours, I'd rather spend them in some kind of temple rather than on the boat.
Okay. A temple's not too hard to find.
Okay.
It's small, a little bit modest, but it's not in bad shape or anything.
Okay. Is it dedicated to a particular deity?
It is a temple of the Mana Goddess.
Oh, okay. Nice.
So, I do not have temple music preset, so
Okay.
I'm just gonna go to a quieter town music. Just leave it at that for a little bit.
Okay. You don't even need to change the music. I was just going to go there and it's more than wanting to go to the temple. Mishka didn't want to be on the boat anymore than she needed to. So she's just going to wait a couple of hours.
Poor Mishka.
And before it gets too late, because she's paranoid she's going to miss the boat, she's going to go back and
Okay.
be on the boat again.
Okay.
Yeah, take the time and go try and find a library or a bookstore.
Okay. Yeah, you don't have much trouble finding a library. It's bigger than the temple. Looks like they are closing down soon, but they're still open for a little bit. So are you heading inside? Or?
Yeah.
Okay. You notice on the way in that there's about 20 minutes left on the posted store hours as they're getting ready to close. And, you walk in, the head librarian is at a desk kind of across the way, and she kind of glances up at you and then looks back down at her work. She says, "Good evening, sir."
Good evening.
Hmm?
Where would be?
Where's the dark forbidden stuff?
Where would be your studies on, like, demons?
Studies on demons? What?
Just add a logi to the end of any word and it becomes acceptable. So if you had asked, where's your demonology section? It would have been more acceptable.
Still now.
We don't really deal in works like that. We specialize in non-fiction here.
Ooh, burn! Oh my god.
Encyclopedic knowledge.
Wow. I want to meet this librarian in real life. Clip that.
I don't know if it was even loud enough. I feel like I kind of said that pretty quietly, but there we go, clipped.
Trying to think of how to word all this. I'm at a loss right now.
There is a bookstore down the street if you're looking for novels.
Not really
Or
novels.
more speculative works.
Kind of. I'm doing research for a paper I'm writing.
On demons. She looks a little bit concerned.
My family's got a weird taste in research papers.
She looks a little more concerned.
I probably would have went to the same store, but I'll come in later.
What? Now I'm at a loss. Because I'm wanting to know exactly what you're looking for, but I'm trying to decide whether that's in character or out of character. Well, she would ask in character. She would ask that.
Just journals from explorers of strange encounters, stuff like that.
Well, that's a much broader category. She gets up and she starts heading down one of the aisles. Right this way, sir.
I'll follow.
Okay. And she indicates a moderate area of a shelf. It takes up about half a shelf of probably about 3 rows of books. And she says we have quite a few journals on, what did you say, adventuring?
Yeah.
Adventurers' journals and strange encounters right here.
Okay. So I'll just kind of breeze through, just looking at certain ones.
She kind of walks away just quickly. A little bit faster paced than she took you there with. Okay, so you're going to breeze through those and browse through them.
Yeah.
And is there anything you're looking for or information you're trying to find?
Just kind of, I guess for where we're going.
Okay, you're looking for information about the Pure Land thing?
Yeah. And
Okay.
kind of any strange encounters that have happened there. Stuff like that. That couldn't be explained.
I'd say roll investigation.
Also 1.
First roll of the campaign.
Woo!
I'm gonna find my dice.
First player
Extra
roll
one.
of the campaign. Make enough dinner for all of us, Boat.
Nope.
Nope. What'd you get?
1.
Oh, natural 1. You get nothing.
So 2 altogether.
All right. Yeah, you're kind of at a loss, and just as they start to kind of close down, and you hear a lot of things starting to be locked up at the back, it kind of occurs to you maybe you should have just asked about the Pure Lands or something. But they.
Do I get any useful information out of just looking? Not necessarily on the Pure Lands, but just
Random books you look through.
yeah. That I could probably decipher as kind of having to go back and check up on.
There's a little bit about dragons. You do find some kind of rumor that maybe dragons once lived in the Pure Lands, but you're not really sure if that's flight of fancy or what.
Alright.
Okay. So they start to close down, and the head librarian does walk by again, and she says, "So we are closing for the evening."
Alright. So I'll head out.
Okay. You heading back to the ship, or
How late in the
It's-
evening is it?
it's about 9 o'clock?
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, you head back to the ship, and Bernard and Mishka, are you two doing anything?
I would have went back by now. But
Okay.
I think,
Yeah,
did you
I would
go?
have.
You would have gone out into town too.
I would have specifically probably tried to find some sort of mappers guild.
Okay. Cartographer's Guild.
Cartographer, yeah.
Okay. I'm not sure what I would have you roll to decide if you would be able to find that in the city.
It'd be
Yeah.
investigating, wouldn't it?
I guess I just typically think of investigation as more like looking at small details, but
Probably.
well, I guess I see what you're saying, like
Prob-
actively looking for a specific thing.
Yeah.
Would it be like persuasion? Try to get somebody to quickly tell me where.
Yeah, you can try that. Sure.
Dice. Gonna go ahead and use my Tide of Chaos.
Tides of Chaos.
Yep.
Please remind me what that does.
It gives me advantage on this roll.
Okay.
And then later on, when I cast a first level or higher spell, you can impose some stuff on me.
Okay.
Ooh,
21.
21.
Yes.
They tell you that there is not a cartographer's guild in the city,
Oh.
but there is one to the northeast in Benediction.
But I won't have enough time for that.
You don't, yeah.
Oh.
What? Why would you?
I'm trying to get maps for the Pure Lands.
For the Pure Lands? Oh, are you headed there?
Yes.
Well, I would think they would have some sort of a group of cartographers at the hold there.
Yeah. It's just, I wanted to get a good feel of what it's like there, but, oh well, if there's no information, there's no information yet.
It's supposedly quite a jungle out there, if you'll pardon the expression. Okay.
Oh well.
Anything else you're trying to do?
Yeah.
Your investigation is taking place concurrent with theirs, so it's not 9 o'clock yet or
Okay.
anything. It's a little earlier for you.
So I assume since I can't find anybody like that, I guess I'll just... I assume we already have the things we'll need, so...
Have the things what?
like we already have the gear we need.
Yeah.
So I guess I'll just go ahead and browse since I'm not used to this land yet and just see what comes up.
Not used to what yet? I'm sorry.
These lands, so
Okay.
I'll just
Okay.
browse.
Okay.
By the way, do you want me to go ahead and like email you the DMG?
I might have a PDF somewhere of it. You were asking me those questions while I was
Yeah.
at work, and I just
You're
didn't
good.
have a chance to look.
You're good.
You can if you'd like.
All right, I'll email it to you later.
Okay. Thanks.
Yeah. So. Screw it. Oh, I didn't bring that book on me, so I'll just. I go around town looking for something tonight to do.
What's that gif? Besides drinking, there's absolutely nothing to do here. Guy with the glasses.
Well, I guess you would find something.
Carousing roll in the DMG. Do you have a copy of that? Oh, you've got it. Okay.
Yes. I don't know what page it's on, but
Look at the table. Like content for downtime activities.
downtime activities.
Or do I need to pull up my PDF?
Here it is, 127.
Okay.
All right, carousing.
Cool.
You want to roll the D100?
D100? Okay. $37.
37.
I'm not rolling those dice for fire for log magic. That would have been bad. Oh, right and roll. What do you get? Fireball.
You are caught up in a whirlwind romance.
Ah.
Roll a D20.
15.
Your romance is ongoing.
Okay.
You determine the identity of the love interest subject to your DM's approval. If the romance ends badly, you gain a new flaw. If it ends...
It's that kind of campaign.
Yes. Session 1, it's already that kind of
And
campaign.
it didn't even need me or Quota to happen. Life finds a way.
If it ends well or is ongoing, your new love interest might represent a new bond.
1 second, do I like pull up some bullshit? Supplemental table. Here. Let's go ahead and roll some shit.
Oh, good lord. What, just to determine who
Yes.
this...
I'll just roll if you need. If I'll.
Yeah,
I'll
sure.
roll it, screw it.
Sure, go for it.
Oh. And this will be some sort of NPC, which you may or may not drag into this later. So I'll just let you know the results.
May or may not, yeah. Writing down whirlwind romance.
Okay. Does alignment matter in this world?
In most cases, no.
Okay. Do you want this person to be an adventurer?
Probably not.
Okay.
Could be, but
Roll and see.
if
Feel free to roll percentile, see if it's an adventurer or not.
how about just if it's odd or even?
Sure.
She's an adventurer.
She is. Okay, great.
Makes it more likely for her to pop up again later.
71. She's a rogue.
She's a rogue.
Yeah.
You know what they say about rogues?
Ooh.
And let's see, race.
That
could
kind of
be-
campaign.
Yeah. There's an evil plot.
Yep, definitely an elf. Okay.
An elf.
Yeah.
Lucky bastard!
There's
Curtis tried the whole campaign.
There's already been more sex in this campaign
Yeah.
than in the last two.
And that includes a trip to a brothel, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes. It's funny because it's true.
Alright, so I'll let you roll in the book later if you
Okay.
want.
Oh, now that I do not have a PDF of.
Okay, I do not either.
Oh,
Which
okay.
book?
Xanathar's.
I don't either.
Okay.
You can take a picture of that section.
Huh?
It's a couple pages.
No.
So
Yeah,
it'll probably
it's
be
pretty
just
big.
print.
Alright.
But yeah, cool.
Alright, so you have a whirlwind romance with an elf, and you're not happy about heading back to the ship to leave your lover. But
Yeah. Woo.
you do eventually make it back, probably
Can we expect
probably
that
at like 2 or 3
children?
in the morning. Huh?
Like if it's 9 months or more,
Oh god.
we might have some.
We'll see.
Yeah.
You're getting his hopes up.
Yeah. You're gonna have to
You
make
know, those
those.
tables are in the book of erotic fantasy.
I'm sure they are. I'm sure they are.
Okay.
She's an elf. It's going to take years. Don't worry about it.
It only
Wow.
takes 1 or 2.
No,
Say what?
It only takes like 1 or 2, I think.
Does it real?
2 years.
Of course it would be different.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
God, that would suck. Okay.
So he can play his child in another campaign.
Yeah.
So you make it back at probably 3 in the morning, I guess.
Oh, I forgot. I'm going on an adventure. Put on pants.
Yeah.
She's like, that's a new one.
Haven't heard that one.
Uh,
Wouldn't it be awkward if like that happened and then you got on the boat and she was on this adventure too?
Oh man. That would be awkward. It does not happen.
okay.
She's in the town though, apparently.
Alright, so you make it back to the boat. I assume you go to sleep at that point.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh wait.
Can you get to sleep?
Not going there.
Alright. So the next morning comes and they start to cast off. You guys start to sail north and kind of northwest. And don't do that. Oh, that's my own announcement. Okay.
How are the sea conditions?
Seas are fairly calm.
Don't you know he doesn't put the wild encounter in until 3 days into the travel?
Say what?
Don't you know he puts in the wild encounter 3 days into the travel?
Yeah. So you guys do have a few days on the boat. So if there is anything you would like to do during that time.
At least one of those days, Mishka would like to cast detect poison and disease to see if there's any diseased or poisoned people on board. She doesn't want to get sick.
Okay.
And if anybody is, she will either try to help them or try to be as far away from them as possible.
Okay.
One of the two.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I mean, if I can't cure them, I don't want to get sick myself. So. I mean, I'm a good person, but I'm not that good. I'm not willing to get sick myself.
Is this aimed at me?
I don't think I can cure you though. Like,
Does it just detect in an area or on a person?
in an area 30 feet away. Let me look. It is a second level thing.
Fine, boat. I see how it is.
He's leaving for critical role.
No, he's running an errand. He'll be back if we're still streaming. What you mean is if we haven't crashed and burned by then?
So it says here that for the duration, you can sense the presence and location of poisonous creatures and diseases within 30 feet of you. You also identify the kind of poisonous creature or disease in each case. The spell can penetrate most barriers, but it is blocked by 1 foot of stone, 1 inch of common metal, and a thin sheet of lead.
Okay. Is it pointed at? Oh, it's centered on you.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he just goes around the ship and just pings diseases off.
You're just kind of pinging to see if.
Like once a day, so like
Okay.
3 times during the adventure.
Yeah.
I mean during the trip.
Okay. I'm sure there's a table for that somewhere, but I'm just going to.
Just make up some numbers there, like
Yeah. There's somebody with a common cold, but that's about it.
Okay. Can we talk about how healing and diseases work? Like, can a common cold be cured with
lots of restoration.
Okay.
Sure, we'll go with that.
I don't believe. Go ahead and have. Okay, so after diagnosing the person, Mishka is going to sleep that night, preparing lesser restoration, and then the day afterwards, she's going to restore that person,
Okay.
lesser meat.
Okay.
And during that time, if I may, I would like to use a stick to interact with that person, not touch them.
So, you just walk up to this guy with a stick, and are you just poking at him, or?
I like poke a little bit, and then just leave for the day, and the next day come back with the same stick, and just at random cast magic on him.
The first time that you do that, he's kind of like, "The hell are you doing?" But you walk off, and you come back the second time. He's like, "What?" He kind of swats the stick away.
I don't think I need the stick to cast, so I'll put the stick away and cast lesser restoration.
What? Okay. Okay, so he sees the cast and he's like, "Well, what was it? What was that for?" Oh, yeah, I feel a little better. Thanks.
He just walks back.
What? Weird lady. Is your character actually mute, or just choose not to speak, or do you prefer not to say on?
I prefer not to. Well,
Okay.
you guys can know. I plan for her not to speak until either something significant happened, but that doesn't include the like if she needs to whisper something to get a spell going, she'll do that.
Hmm.
But it's voluntary. It's not.
She's not going to be doing stand-up comedy anytime soon.
Yeah.
Okay.
It might change, you know,
Oh yeah, by the
depending
way,
on how things go.
every day, just in case I'm casting mage armor, go ahead and roll a d20 if,
Okay.
for each day, and tell me if it's a 1.
Okay. No. Whoops. No. No.
Okay. Yeah. Because that is a thing that's gonna have to happen. Because it's like, oh yeah, right. I'm a wild mage.
I'm a wild mage. Alright.
So if a fireball happens on the ship, does the ship catch fire?
Let's not think about it.
Keep rolling, William. We need to find out.
And when can those adverse effects occur?
So Tides of Chaos recovers either during a long rest or whenever you choose after I casted a first level spell or higher.
Gotcha.
Period.
But the adverse effects can happen whenever Tides of Chaos is used?
The adverse effect is whenever you give me back my Tides of Chaos, I get to roll on the Wild Magic Search table.
Okay, whenever you get it. So you could have a long rest, and during your long rest, a fireball
No.
happens. What?
It's either I take a long rest and it recovers naturally, or you give it back to me after I cast a spell
Okay, got it.
prematurely.
Got it. Got it. Okay.
Or I roll a 1 on that d20 roll after I
Okay.
cast any first level or higher spell.
Okay, got it.
Yay! Roll magic, it's fun, isn't it, guys? I don't know if it'll die or not. It's more fun that way.
It's more fun. Yeah, keep telling yourself that. Okay. So you all right, so you start noticing the land on the right, and it is rising out of the ocean as not quite a sheer cliff, but it's pretty steep and does not look very hospitable at the coast as you're pulling up along this way. Up near Emberhold here, you do see a stretch of beach, and there's some docks that are kind of set up, but it only holds maybe 2 or 3 ships of not exactly humongous size. And there is, from that beach, you see kind of a mountain path leading up, and you see what looks to be a settlement on a cliff at the top. So the ship pulls into the dock, and once you guys are docked, you're able to disembark.
I don't know what everybody else, but as the ship is docking, Mishka will be half bent over the starboard side of the ship, and she goes, oh! And she goes to pack her stuff and get off the boat as soon as possible.
The guy that you cured walks up and he slaps you on the back.
I was about to do that too.
Looks like you need some restoration yourself.
She does this, and you hear.
Oh.
Can I roll damage for that guy?
Roll damage?
Yeah, for the guy, like, Mishka is so, what's the word? Frail that, like...
You feel like she would have taken damage.
Yeah, a slap like that caught off guard.
Well, you're wearing chainmail, though.
True. Yeah.
Assuming you are wearing it. Okay.
Yeah. She is paranoid enough to always wear that.
There you go.
Except when she sleeps, so...
The adventures were always paid by that full armor.
Right. Yeah, alright, so you managed to make it off the ship. You disembark successfully, and as you're getting off of the ship, the captain tells you, if you're here for that expedition, there should be some people waiting for you at the camp up top.
Is it visible from here?
Yeah, you can see like some large tents with some red flags at the top of them, things like that.
Literal red flags, people. You have to.
They're like little red triangle
Yeah.
pennants, you know.
Yeah, Mishka's going to start walking and look back to see if anybody else follows her.
I follow.
And you follow as well. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so it's a fairly steep path leading up, but there's not exactly guardrails, but there's like some ropes, you know, some kind of guard ropes that are set up with some posts, and you do make it up to the camp at the top. And what you see up there is kind of a large plateau, and off to your right you see this large kind of empty expanse at this point. It's just plains, a little bit of grass and some tundra, but more centered, you know, obviously where Emberhold here is. You see, like I said, quite a few large tents, some red pennants, and there's a few small wooden buildings and things like that. It's not really as built up into a city as Idella was. And off in the distance, kind of to the north, you would see kind of some mountains, snow-covered mountains. And that's what you see for now. There's a few people kind of bustling about, just doing some of their daily activities. Some of them in armor, some of them not, but it does look to be somewhat of a military camp.
Okay.
Encampment.
So am I in the camp now, or?
Yeah.
Okay. Is there a like a central or larger tent?
Most of them are pretty much about the same size. I mean, they're fairly large. Most of them look to be about the size of this room.
Okay. Mishka would like to find the most, I guess, she's trying to find someone of authority. So would I have to make a roll for that, or is that easy to like a guard or a
Yeah,
officer?
you don't have any trouble finding a guard.
Okay. I would like to take the flyer out and point at it.
Oh, newcomer, huh? They with you?
I look at them and try to see what they say.
Indeed.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Head for this this tent with the yellow flag, and that should be. Forgot her name. Crestwind. That should be Crestwind's tent.
Misha attempts to walk slower than usual to let one of the other people pass her, so she doesn't have to be in front.
How tall are you?
Let's say 5 feet.
How much do you weigh?
5 foot nothing?
Yeah, 120, 130, I guess. Would that? Does that sound right? Or less, maybe.
I think a little less.
Okay. Let's go with 110.
Okay.
Okay.
Does anybody else step in front of Mishka, or is
I
she the
shall.
first to enter the?
I shall step through.
What was the person's name?
Crestwind.
I pushed her in.
You push Mishka in.
Do I get some kind of save or? No, actually, you know what? It's better this way. So, do I get there before? Actually, what was your character's name again?
Bernard.
Bernard. And yours was? Okay. So do I get there before Bernard, since I'm being pushed?
Sure.
Yay!
No, I just kind of strolled in.
So, Mishka's face is approximately like this color at this point. She's like blushing, but like she's also been seasick, so she kind of looks more sickly than blushing at this point.
As you stumble into the tent, you immediately hear a woman go, "Who the hell? What?
She just freezes for a
Who are
second.
you?"
At this point, I go ahead and I pardon my friend. No, pardon my associate. We're the adventurers sent to explore the mainland.
She immediately sets her pen down and she turns her full attention towards you guys. Oh, the scouts, right? And she gets up. She's wearing full plate armor. She has dark hair, kind of thin, probably not as thin as Mishka, but she kind of looks around to you three and she kind of nods politely. Anise Crestwind. And your names?
I'm Bernard.
Bernard?
Do you just pull out
She
a
just-
card?
Not. I don't
We don't
think I
even know
would
her
have
name.
cards.
We don't even know her name yet.
Yeah. Actually, she would just take her holy symbol and point at it.
Tree? Okay, tree. Right.
I'm Elsinore.
Elsinore. Bernard, Elsinore, tree. Right. So you've received our brochure, obviously. Which, by the way, as a quick note, you would have received this like it was in the mail wherever you lived or something. It wasn't something you just picked up on a billboard somewhere on a job board. Well, glad to see that you've all arrived, and all at the same time, too. So what do you know about the Pure Lands?
Mishka takes a step back, tries to blend in, but there's nothing to blend into, so...
I'm standing right behind her.
Oh, okay.
You back into Elsinore.
Yeah.
I believe that's the whole point of bringing an expedition crew in, is when you don't know that much at all.
Well, there are legends, of course. Don't know if you're familiar with those, but supposedly it was once the birthplace of the world and of mana. So, mana fuels the development of civilization. We would like to harness whatever might be available here. But from taking a look out here, and she kind of gestures to the ground is still just bare ground. There's not any kind of floor covering. She goes, from what we've seen out here, there's not much hope of really finding any sort of great treasure trove inside the Pure Lands, but we'd like to find out. The only problem is that a lot of the mountains are too treacherous for us to traverse by foot. And the few passes that are traversable have some quite fearsome beasts guarding them. Fortunately, we have found a small cavern that we think might go all the way through. In approaching it, we did feel wind coming through from the other side, and but if we divert our main force, which right now we have actually several dozen soldiers just kind of standing near a stalemate with these creatures. If we divert all of them, then we think it may attract the attention of those creatures and close off that pathway as well. So, a small, unseen group is our idea. So we'd like to send you to this cave and investigate it and see if you can find the pathway through. And assuming you do make it through into the Pure Land, report back what you find. And of course, I'm certain if you do happen to come across a massive pile of gold or whatnot, that arrangements can be made for a generous share of that.
If you pay attention and look closely, you can see that Mishka's pupils have been replaced by dollar signs at this point.
So,
Kind of crack a smile at the gold comment. Okay.
how many forces are around here? Do I see? Because when she says a generous compensation, it's like, no, it's stated rules for adventuring is you take whatever you find. Straight up.
Well, I mean, if you're going and scouting and reporting back what you have found. They're going to expect some amount of that, but they're also they would also hope that ideally you found more than you could carry.
Right.
So I mean, if you go in there and we found the the source of all creation, then, they're not going to say, okay, we'll have fun with it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Well, when you find the source of all creation, you just instantly get teleported into a war with God. So.
Yeah.
Who cares at that point?
All right. So. Any questions or?
What kind of creatures have you been fighting so far?
One of the most notable has been I would call it a dire tiger.
Ooh. Yeah.
It's been more than a match for about 4 men at a time.
Of course.
Now, of course, we could slay them with enough men thrown at the problem. The problem is whenever we have done that, we get more fearsome creatures, and that's how we ended up with the dire tigers. There is a rumor that dragons once lived here, and frankly, I'm not itching to fight one. That's why I'm hoping you'll go in and report on what you find. If you do find one, please do warn us. Any questions?
Do you have maps?
She does immediately pull out she heads back to her desk and she gives you a map of the this outer area.
Okay.
The area that's covered in brown, and she also draws a path leading up kind of this way.
Yeah.
And she marks a little dot right here.
Mm-hmm.
She says that's where the cave is. Actually a little further up. It's right about in here.
Okay. Looking at the scale, how many days travel is that?
I'd say you can get there in about a day and a half.
Okay. So you said every time you killed something, something larger came. Does that mean that if you were to follow the rules of the hunt, that you would eventually be swarmed by dire beasts?
The rules of the hunt, out of character question.
You know, like, only kill what you need, da-da-da-da, you know? I'm thinking in terms of, like, saying something in the realm of...
It is clear that we are not welcome. And theoretically, yes, possibly.
Okay. Have you tried to figure out why you are not welcome yet?
Can't really figure it out if we can't get in and investigate.
I was about to say, diviners.
Hmm?
Diviners.
Well, we're cheaper than diviners, so if we don't come back, they'll probably get diviners.
Those are on call as well.
Got it. You just have to find. Of course, and they'll come later. But, yep, well.
Our hope is that if you keep a low profile, you shouldn't be noticed. Essentially, we will increase our forces at the main passes that we have been trying to push through. And hopefully this will distract anything that might be heading your way, that might otherwise be in your way. So if there's nothing else, I can direct you to a tent where you can store your things for the evening, or she just kind of looks over the three of you.
Yeah.
And what was your name? No, your name, please.
Would it be safe to assume I have, since I'm a cleric and I know how to read and stuff, that I have something to write with?
I'm sure you would have found a writing implement
Okay.
at some point in your journeys.
I would like to write down Mishka and hand it to her.
Mishka.
No, actually, okay, so since I've been part of a mercenary band for the last year, would it be plausible that I would have some kind of marker or dog tag kind of plate?
Sure.
I would like to pick that up and show that.
Okay.
Instead of showing your holy symbol, yeah.
Mhm.
So she knows your actual name and is not just calling you Tree.
I mean, it's not gonna bother me.
Okay.
Tree lady.
Also, it's safer if they don't know your real name. So.
Mishka. All right. Good to meet you. Well then, she starts to head out of the tent. She kind of holds the flap open for all of you, and she just kind of points toward one of the other tents, and she says, "Right up that way, and you have your map. We'll be looking forward to good news."
Misha gives like an embarrassed laugh.
Oh, she does have a voice. She just heads back inside the tent and closes the flap behind her. Okay.
I'll look to the tent that we were pointed at.
Okay.
Grab her by the back of her chainmail. Just drag her.
There's a line.
All right. So there's a guard in front of that tent, and he saw Anise pointing you this way, and he said, "You the expeditionary crew?"
Yes.
Right. Well, yeah, we've got a few spare cots for you. And he kind of just waves you on in, and he's not really opening it up or anything, but inside you do find a couple of extra. They are just very low to the ground, just little cots, and some small kind of weapon racks and stuff to kind of hold your things. But it is getting fairly late into the evening at this point, and so it is a place for you to rest, or you can explore, look around, or whatever you like.
I shall look around.
Okay. There it is. Okay, so there's some campfires that are lit, and you still hear kind of a little bit of a hustle and bustle of people going around just doing various things into the night. You hear kind of a ting-ting of hammer on metal and things like that. Is there anything that you would like to
I
look for?
think what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna use this as an excuse to get myself enough information from people for like common sense survival stuff along the way, so I can just use my background feature of I find food and water for us
Okay.
over the course, and just doing general outlander things like, hey, where's this watering hole, and what kind of animals are we allowed to kill? Do you know if it's people shooting down a whole pack of boar before you start getting attacked by bears, for example? Those kind of questions. And I'm just gonna fast forward through that since that's just generic questions that nobody cares about in game.
Okay.
Except for like any sort of outstanding messages, of course, like, oh, be careful of the bugbears.
Right. Yeah, no, you managed to get the information you're looking for, and yeah.
Hey, I heard monsters are coming back.
Anything else for you guys?
Most orthodox. Most orthodox.
Um,
Sorry, I was...
Mishka would like to go slightly out of the camp, but only like she doesn't want to just wander out.
Okay.
Slightly out of the vicinity.
Yeah.
And try to see if her connection to her deity is any stronger or weaker, or has there been any, does she notice anything different now that she's in this place she's kind of treating this as a pilgrimage? Because this is supposed to be, you just said that there was,
Pure Land.
yeah,
The place is literally called the Pure Lands.
Yeah.
and like the place of creation. So if, my logic is, if there's any place on the planet that would be better for this stuff, it would be here.
Mm-hmm.
Would that logic hold, or?
That logic would hold, but you don't sense anything from the goddess at this point.
Mhm.
If you roll a religion check.
Oh no.
Yep,
20, not a
wrong, wrong
Yeah.
guy.
That was actually better. 7 plus 3, 10.
Okay. Yeah, you don't really
Okay.
sense anything in this case.
Mishka would like to look back. Specifically, I'm trying to see if I've been followed by our friend here.
Okay.
Do I find them?
Make a perception check.
Nope.
Nope. The roll was nope.
I rolled a 6.
Okay.
I
So
mean, I could roll a stealth check and see.
Sure.
'Cause I could roll bad on that.
now, would you want to stalk your friend out into the field?
Sure, because because I
Because
have,
she's totally
like,
not going to
'cause-
mind that.
I have religion as part of my background too.
Okay.
So understanding what kind of
Okay.
cleric, or at least what deity they follow,
Okay.
gives me that kind of mindset.
Okay.
Five.
I do notice something.
Okay. Well, what was your perception check then?
6 plus 2, which is
Okay.
8.
Okay. So yeah, you
Um,
do hear, you hear like a little
Twig snap.
crackling of grass or maybe a twig snap. I don't think it's necessarily a twig snap, but you
Yeah.
hear a little crackling of grass.
I look back and give him the shifty eyes and like,
Ooh, I don't know if I want to do that yet.
PvP starts. Remember saying something about combat, Jacob?
Yeah. Hey, well, if it's PvP, then you guys have your stuff right there. So I don't care. You guys can fight each other all day.
Well, because, like, I don't know if I want to waste a spell. I did that, so I'll just go to sleep.
Yeah, I mean,
Make sure.
I don't know what spell you're thinking of.
Do
but
we need to roll for initiative?
Make sure I know what it does first.
Oh, that's a good idea.
No. This would be better for an actual encounter.
I mean, you'll get it right back.
Well, it was Crown of Madness, so.
Say what?
Crown of Madness.
And what was it gonna do?
Basically, I can make her attack any creature within her. Other than me. Just by thinking it.
Just by thinking it.
Yep.
Mhm. You have mental power over them if they fail their wisdom save.
Do they know that it happened?
After the fact, I think.
I think. I'm
Yeah.
not sure.
Interesting. Okay. Okay. So you choose not to cast this.
In the meanwhile, if Mishka has the chance, she would like to very briskly, like her attempt is to go back as soon as possible without looking like she's running away, but she's definitely just running away at this
No,
point.
they don't know.
No? Okay, not yet. Right?
Yeah, they don't know.
Oh, okay.
Wow. They just, why am I attacking this thing?
And that's the perfect
What
thing.
did it ever do to me?
That's the perfect thing for like a assassin. Like get the person's bodyguard to kill them.
It really is. Wow.
Especially in their sleep. Like I said, my family's twisted.
Wow. Alright. But I am assuming you did not cast that. Did you?
Yeah, I didn't cast it.
Okay. So you ran back to
Basically.
camp. Okay. Everybody goes to sleep at this point, or?
Yeah.
Mishka?
I was thinking about going to sleep with my armor, but I don't. I think it's too early for that. So
Yep.
I'm just gonna be normal for now.
Okay. I was like, are you about to go carousing? And speaking of carousing,
No, because I'm actually getting proper rest tonight.
alright. Alright, so you guys get up in the morning and what would you like to do?
Find the nearest campfire with food.
Okay.
I would like to follow him.
Oh yes.
And it's assumed that when we get up, we put on our armor and get our stuff and things like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. And no wild magic just yet.
No what?
No wild magic just yet.
Okay. All right. So you guys find some food. You managed to find some, bacon and eggs. It's a nice meal. It was probably brought in from one of the nicer towns.
If I can, I would like to say that Mishka eats way more than you would think she would eat.
Okay. A couple of the soldiers kind of put it away. Wow. And yeah, one of them. Hey, Oliver, better put some more on. Okay.
Question. Considering the fact that I am proficient in medicine, would I notice any plants growing here that aren't found on the mainland and might have potential for use as medicine in the future? And this isn't something for now, it's something that I'll have in mind as we're doing the whole adventure.
Okay. Here it's sparse, but yeah, you think you might be able to find something.
Okay.
What?
So if we have any free time, Mishka will like to spend it kind of sketching out the shape of the flowers and plants and whatnot.
Okay.
And every once in a while grabbing a leaf and like saving it.
Okay.
That's how I'm spending the morning.
Okay. Anybody else? Or are you guys setting out when you're ready?
I know where he is. He is like every scene
10
like
feet behind
Yep,
you,
exactly.
wherever you are.
like Mishka said, flower, and then this.
Mishka has an admirer.
No, I'm just trying to figure out.
Who do you need to kill first?
Right?
Possibility.
Okay. So, whenever you guys are ready, are y'all setting out or?
Mishka would probably not be the first one to move out, but if she sees anybody else moving out, she will follow them.
Okay.
You taking point?
Yeah, I can.
Okay.
Okay, so if you're in front, I will be immediately behind you.
These two are just going to be sticking together through the whole thing. Male and Quota are going to assume that you two are a couple or something.
It might look that way, actually.
I'm only 2 years older than her, so.
That would
we
be-
are close in age. But that would be too, unbelievable.
That would be.
And
interesting.
I don't talk, so I don't deny anything. So, rumors
You can
spread.
still shake your head. All right. So, you guys start to head out north, I guess. And for quite a long way. You stick to the main trail, to the main road.
By the way, how's the weather here? Did you say this place was jungles?
Right now, that's not what you're seeing.
Oh, okay.
Right now, you're seeing pretty bare plains.
Ah.
It's very barren. Not like West Texas barren, but like not quite Alaska.
Okay.
Um,
And is it cold too?
it's brisk. It's not like you're worried about freezing to death, but it's kind of brisk.
Do we have a sense of what season it is? Like everywhere else in the world, is it?
I would say it's mid-fall right now.
Okay.
No, sorry. Very early fall. So it's kind of windy. There's some winds kind of blowing from the west, and but it's a very uneventful walk, and it's just a long dirt path sloping very gradually upwards. You obviously see the mountains up ahead. They don't seem, too like terrifying at this point, but there is kind of snow-capped peaks and stuff. So once you reach probably about here, and let me actually pull up the map on there again. Once you reach about here or so, you finally start to break off from the main path, if you're following your map. And so you're able to continue west that way. I assume you're heading for the cave that she marked, or?
Yeah.
Okay. So it does start to get late eventually, and if you're stopping for dinner or anything like that, stopping to sit down and eat.
I feel like Mishka is too afraid of him to say anything, so she's going to keep walking until he stops.
I mean, I'm gathering food along the way.
Okay.
Enough for 6 people.
Ooh.
Every day.
6 people, okay.
Yeah, that's what the feature says. Up to 6 people.
Okay.
Can we sell the rest?
Alright, so are you just walking until your legs give out, or?
For the most part.
Like, he's just casually walking and back. Mishka.
Kind of curious if I should. Like, I kind of
Point
want
of
to
exhaustion?
make you roll something.
Constitution?
Constitution or strength or something, or?
Is that a saving throw or?
Let's just call it an athletics check.
Ooh. Okay.
No.
6.
So you are not doing well with this. And
When I see he's not doing well, I advise him to stop. Like, yo.
I'm well aware she's not doing great.
huh?
I'm well aware.
Okay. So
He's gonna keep walking.
you're just gonna keep walking?
I guess, yeah.
You are?
Well, I mean, if he's walking, I'm walking too. I'm not gonna stop before him, so.
Probably be about for 30 more minutes.
Do I take damage?
No,
Or
but
point of exhaustion?
just for the hell of it, I'll say point of exhaustion.
Okay.
Ooh. That is really nasty, though.
What?
Is it?
Exhaustion, yeah.
One
First
point?
one gives you disadvantage on all skill checks.
Yeah, but not attack rolls and stuff. So.
Yeah, but that'll come later at this rate.
Well, I am willing to accept the consequences.
Besides,
Aren't you always?
disadvantage on skill checks is still rather harsh. Disadvantage on perception, disadvantage on stealth,
You're-
disadvantage on...
Okay, but you guys are about to stop and take a rest in 30 minutes. It's mainly flavor.
Okay,
So
got it.
so you guys finally do come to a stop at some point. You're just gasping for air, or your legs are killing
Mishka is like partially blue at this point. Not getting enough oxygen.
It is a little bit higher altitude than you're used to, probably.
Yeah.
You know, we actually settled on you two both being from Althena.
Yeah.
I was from the what was that kingdom's name we came from? The beige one that's kind of taking over. Yeah.
Embermount?
Yep.
You're from Embermount. Okay. Cool. All right. So yes, it is a higher altitude than you're used to. Which, yeah, you guys are fine. All right. So yeah, your legs are killing you. You're like, oh my god. Are you saying anything at this point, or?
I think it's just huffing and puffing.
Okay.
It's just flow of air in and out.
Slow down.
Yeah.
Deep breaths.
Hey, Boat, welcome back.
When you
Glad you're back.
say that, she's going to be like, like she's going to be like, oh, you're fine. Oh, I'm right. I'm horrible.
Well, Boat, quick recap while you were gone. They already TPK'd and started over. No, I'm just
Yeah.
kidding. All right, so you stop for the night. Are you just sleeping through the night, or are you putting up any kind of watches?
I'm taking middle row. No, I'm never mind. I'm taking first watch.
Okay.
I'll take last.
I'll take
Oh, no.
second, I guess.
Okay.
I'm trying to think which part's the darker.
Second watch is definitely darkest.
Yeah, I'll take that one.
Okay, I guess I'm taking the last one.
Okay.
So,
If there's only 3 of us, do we all get full rests?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Interesting. Yeah.
interesting.
Just rolling very, very high 3 times in a row.
Were you rolling for our perception, or?
I was rolling to see if there was anything at all, and I was going to call a low roll as something coming across your path, but of course my dice roll great when it doesn't really
Yeah.
matter for me. I got an 18, 19, and 19. I'm like,
Nice.
I would have been really happy if I was
We need to
playing
get into
right now.
combat now, guys.
Yeah.
That's where I was.
Well,
No,
see,
no.
then now I'm gonna roll really high against you, and all right, but yeah, the whole night goes by and you don't.
So what have you been hunting? What are we eating tonight?
You tell me? Because I'd probably start off with small stuff just to not piss anything off.
Yeah, you would have found, you know, those rabbits that I showed you before.
Yeah.
You would have found some smaller varieties of them, and so they might have been babies, but
I wouldn't have killed babies.
they were smaller varieties, but
Yeah.
yeah.
It's a subspecies.
Yeah.
Yeah. The you almost scared me there. Oh, with the TPK joke. No, the stats that we had looked at were making them considerably tougher than they're supposed to be. They're supposed to be no threat at all.
Got it.
So you would have had no trouble taking one down here or there.
Yeah.
Just So you guys make it through the night. There was no encounters.
Well, I don't know. Ask him. Does
You encountered a boat.
Yeah.
You're in the middle of tundra, but you encountered a boat.
So how far did we make on the first day?
I would say you made it to right about here.
Okay.
Actually, that was where I was going to stop it if you had stopped right then. So you went another 30 minutes. So we'll say you got about there. Okay.
A little closer.
It's a little closer. All right.
Next day,
Next day.
mage armor, note, wild magic.
That's good. All right. So you. Have anything on those? No, I don't. So you start to continue on, and yeah, I should have had all those queued up ahead of time, but whatever. So eventually, you do manage to make it up towards the cave area. So you've got the mountains kind of on the east, kind of some foothills. Now that you are much closer to the mountains, they do look a lot steeper than before. It's pretty rocky. The paths that you're walking on are pretty rocky. There's really not a path or a trail, so to speak, at this point. But as you start to see, as you start to get to where you can see the coast on your left, you do eventually notice some vines kind of hanging over what looks like an opening in the cliffs.
So
Mishka
and-
points.
So I'll start walking in, and as I do, I'll in Infernal say the Crimson Lord's name.
Okay. I love the fact that you just did that and we heard this. You guys probably couldn't hear it at home, but yeah, the guy below me is got some bass.
Now, unfortunately, I don't speak.
You
No,
don't.
I don't speak Infernal.
Okay. Do you?
If you would allow it, I would change it, but I've already made my character.
Okay. Okay. You don't know what he said,
Yeah.
but
People don't speak Infernal.
a name is a name. I mean, I don't know if it sounds any
Ooh.
different in Infernal, but
True. Can I roll religious then? Religion?
I mean, it'd been a name that was taught through my family.
Okay, so I wouldn't know about it.
yeah,
Well,
I don't.
It would just be, what does that sound like?
I
Which-
would let you roll it if I thought there was a chance that it could be done, but I don't think even a natural
That's
20
okay.
would. Yeah.
Yeah, unless there was some bullshit about scripts.
Yeah.
Nah.
Okay. So no, you
So
you don't
Mishka is
really.
intrigued, but she doesn't know how to respond. So
Okay.
she just follows
So
you.
you invoke the Crimson Lord's name
For Devil Sight.
for Devil Sight.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I have 120 feet of dark
Dark.
vision.
Oh, that just stays on forever.
Oh no, it's part of my fluff.
Oh, okay, got it.
Yeah. So that one is like, because I have to, part of my binding or whatever is I have to say it or invoke consequences. So
Okay.
for that, and I'm using it for specifically for that because then it's more fluff.
Okay. Is there any kind of effect to your eyes or anything like that?
pupils probably become slits.
Okay.
Okay.
But
Can I-
in the darkness, nobody would notice. Your eyes
Yeah.
aren't glowing or
No.
anything. Okay.
Does he start? Okay. Do you start that once we go to the darkness, or do you start it outside?
As I enter.
Okay. What are the odds of me saying
as,
that?
as he's passing into the shade.
No.
Well, you've been walking behind him.
Okay, right.
So I would say probably not. You don't really. You just hear him mutter a name, and you probably think he's
Mutter
cursing
something.
under his breath. Oh
Mutter something.
crap! Here we go. Yeah. Cursing in another language. So. And does anyone else have low light vision?
I just cast light.
vision? You just cast light.
Yeah, like a normal person.
Well, when I see him cast light, I also cast light.
Uh,
Oh, we're not being stealthy, so.
I'm gonna say plenty ahead of them.
Okay. Are you like more sensitive to light with this?
Mhm.
or-
He has
okay.
128 feet of dark vision.
Yeah, but
Well, it's because of being my patron's a vampire.
Oh yeah.
So for that, it's more sensitive whenever I go into it.
Okay.
so the double light would be a little bit blinding to
Yeah.
you. So you rush on ahead.
Mishka would like to turn off her light and rush after him.
Okay. Are you like intentionally running or anything, or
A steady jog.
a steady jog? Okay. Okay.
Spooky music.
So yeah, there's kind of crunch of rocks and stuff underneath your feet, and you are you taking off after him at like?
At the same speed he is. I just wanna like not lose
Keep
sight.
pace. Yeah.
Yeah. So is it are we at the point where it's pitch black, or is it just dark but we can see the outline of things? If it's
It was for a little while dark, but you could see the outline. But at this point, you've kind of
Okay.
started running in. So
okay, so at that point I'm gonna stop trying to follow him.
okay,
Slow down, catch up with Bernard, and get my light back up again.
okay,
Yeah.
okay. So there's a few twists and turns, but as you're proceeding through the caverns, you eventually do come to a fork. One path seems to kind of slope upward a little bit, and the other one seems to be sloping down. They're not like two different holes in the wall. It's just like a ridge that seems to be going up, and the sheer wall of that is the wall of the path going down. So you get there first. And assuming that you don't just immediately take off down one of them, they catch up to you within probably 30 seconds or so.
Mishka would like to take out her rope and attempt to find a rock or a boulder she can tie one end of it to,
Okay.
and hold on to the other end.
It's not like you're afraid you're gonna fall into.
No, I'm afraid of getting lost.
Okay.
Now what you do, and I point this out since I'm the survival expert, is you put the symbol mark, and I take out like a dagger and just leave a mark in the side of the rock,
Okay.
at the passageway on the side that we're going towards.
Okay.
Okay. I repack my rope.
Well, it seemed like a good idea at the
You
time.
never tie yourself to an object like that unless you're trying to anchor yourself.
Good to know.
Are you saying that, or
No.
you just?
Yeah.
Okay. So, so you've made a mark.
Yep.
And you two are, or you three, sorry. I can count. You're looking at this kind of fork in the road.
I would like to pull out a copper piece
Okay.
and point to the head, and point up, and wait to see if anybody has any reactions. Essentially, I'm trying to do a 50-50, which way we go.
Perception check.
What would you like to look for?
See if I hear anything.
Okay.
Natural 20.
Natural 1.
Good pair?
You hear a little bit of skittering in the distance of the path that leads up. It's not a lot, it's very distant.
How loud is it?
It's very, very quiet. Oh, what is that? Hey, thank you for the bits, Mrs. Smith. Appreciate it. Thanks for joining us. And I should click back over to the chat. 5 bits from Mrs. Smith and a raid. Thank you. We're glad you're here. Thanks for raiding us. All right. Yeah, it's really quiet, soft. You're pretty sure it's just little critters.
Okay. That doesn't tell me anything though, but still gotta go up. So I say, let's go up.
Put the copper piece back.
Okay.
So I'll start heading up.
Sorry.
Okay. So you guys head towards the path sloping upward,
Yep.
and
Did you tell us what you heard?
I say it like, I mean, I'm assuming it's just a whole bunch of little creepy crawlies, so at this point I'm like, not that big a deal.
Yeah.
Small animals up ahead.
okay. So you guys do proceed to the path heading up, and it kind of takes a few more turns here and there, and you hear a little bit of a squish under your feet as you step on a spider.
Good.
Send your love, guys. Oh, thank you, Mrs. Smith. Rating with 11. Nice. Thank you so much.
Ooh.
Thanks for joining us. This is our first session of our little 5e D&D campaign. This is my first time DMing.
Ooh.
Yeah, he's bored probably.
I mean, it's just like nothing's happening so far. Go ahead. Bring out your roulette.
Bring out my bullet. Is he good at it? I don't know if I'm any good at it. They're all good at playing.
exposition.
It is, and I
At least he's not dumping yet.
at least I'm not what
Dumping yet.
dumping.
Yeah. Exposition dump.
Oh,
You know, like, oh, you are now prisoners in the cart while we go ahead and throw out 30 different names that mean nothing to you right now.
gotcha. Up to 16 views, and that is the highest that view counter's ever gotten. But yeah, so we're we're playing with a new campaign and seeing if it's any good. But so back to it. So yeah, you get a little bit of a squish under your foot as you step on the spider.
Yep.
And a few more twists and turns, a little bit up and down. Mostly continues up though. And are you still walking out in front?
Yeah.
Okay. So after, I thought you need some viewers. Thank you, Mrs. Smith. So after about an hour of walking, you start to, especially with your dark vision, you notice very quickly that there's a little hint of light up there. Thank you for the bits, Stamped Steel. Appreciate it. You start to get a little hint of a ray of sunlight in the distance. But it's still quite a ways off. As you're walking forward, you do notice a large chamber up ahead, very large and open, and you step in.
Not yet. I see a large chamber. I'm like, there's got to be something in here. Perception check again.
You're standing. Where do you stop then? If you are.
I was gonna try and stealth my way and just kind of keep him as close to the wall and see what I can see.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Go ahead and make your stealth roll.
Since you are like 30 feet ahead of us.
19.
19.
Nice.
Okay. You see bones of what appears to have once been a dragon.
Ooh.
And you don't hear any kind of movement. Yeah, I'm going to throw a dragon at him first session.
Draco Lich.
You hear a little bit of a hopping sound. Like you hear something kind of.
But I don't see anything.
It's off in the distance in the darkness. Do you want to roll a perception check?
Sure. That was fun. Nope.
Nope. Okay. So even with your dark, you know what? You have the dark vision though, so
Yeah.
I'm gonna say you have advantage. Still no? What
3.
3. That was with your modifier?
1 and a 2.
All right. Wow.
You rolled a 1 2 times.
I rolled a 1 the first time and 2 the second.
It's only
Nice.
going better. Like it keeps going up, you know?
Everything's
Keep it
looking up.
Yeah.
How do I have a tombstone in your Halloween world, Mrs. Smith? What was my cause of death? Bad DMing, maybe? I don't know. We'll see.
So just outside of the range.
Yeah, just outside of your sight range. You hear
This is
something
a really big cavern.
something moving, but it's not. It does not sound like a big creature. But yeah, you just see these bones of a dragon. You don't see any kind of weapons or anything like that lying around.
I assume if there was a giant cord of gold would have seen it by now.
Just,
So there's no giant cord of gold around the dragon.
uh,
He's thinking about it.
no,
Aw.
there's not. There might be a few pieces lying around,
Ooh.
but there's not a hoard or anything.
So I'm assuming around this time we approach this opening too.
Mm-hmm.
I'll go ahead and stop him and be like, I know there's something out there. I'm going to use Tide to Chaos to get advantage.
Okay. So you're still at the entrance of the.
Yeah, like I'm just
Okay.
trying to listen in.
Okay.
Trying to see if I can pinpoint it out. Does a 19 pass?
Yeah, I'd say it does.
Cool.
So yeah, you hear the hopping kind of sound, just kind of a not really.
From which direction?
The other side of the chamber.
All over.
Huh?
It's a chamber, so it echoes.
In that case, I'm just gonna go ahead and advise, let's stealth.
Well, he's already stealthing,
Like,
and I'm behind you, so.
okay, yeah. So, gonna go ahead and roll a stealth roll a while.
Okay.
Fuck. 11. Sorry, 13.
Mrs. Smith, I am very curious why you're pointing out that Lanfear is not married. We know she's dating a mobster.
What?
Alright, so you guys are making a stealth roll?
I make a 7.
Okay.
You are in chain though.
Ooh, even worse. No, still 7.
Still
Okay.
yeah. So,
What do you mean Joey's gonna yell at you? Lanfear ignores me most of the time anyway. I don't know. Alright. So
I have utterly failed at stealth.
you have failed at stealth. Okay. And
I mostly, my approach to stealth is
Sure.
mostly hiding behind Bernard.
okay. Or behind.
Yeah.
Okay. Got a seagull coming out of the grave. That's amazing. Okay. A seagull coming out of the grave and it yells poggers. Wonderful. Yeah, Joey is gonna yell at you. Alright, so are you then going past the dragon bones and you're heading towards the other side of the chamber?
Yeah, staying along the wall.
Okay. Yeah, as you reach the other end, you do notice a rabbi just off in the distance up near the mouth of the cave. You can start to see sunlight at this point without any help of your
abilities.
your devil sight, I think it was called.
Yeah.
Oh god. Foggers! I'm just waiting for the day when I just look over at the chat and it's swarming with seagulls. I want that to happen one day. Yeah, it's you see a rabbi just kind of hopping around and it seems to have noticed you. Doesn't seem to care.
Do you feel insulted?
There it is. There's one seagull.
Yeah.
Yay.
Your dreams have been fulfilled, right? What if it's the same person spamming the same secret?
Could be. A little bit different. Yeah, you see a rabbi up there, and it doesn't seem aggressive or anything like that. It just is there. It's just chilling near the mouth of the cave.
I'm gonna go check out the dragon bones now.
Okay.
Now that I know what's making the sound.
Yeah. All right. So what would you like to do?
Just kind of looking around, seeing if there's any kind of loose bone or claw or something, depending on how big a dragon was.
Okay. I'm not intimately familiar with the D&D standards for dragon size.
You can make them up.
I just don't want to give away like certain implications that I didn't intend by saying it was a this size dragon. But I'll say you do notice a little bit of just sinew left from what was the flesh, you are able to just see a little bit of that. You see some coins lying around.
I'll pick those up.
Okay. Yeah, I totally should have made him roll a perception for that, but oops. We'll just say, yeah, I'd say you find enough for about 10 gold each.
Well, the question is, do you like to share or do you want to keep 30 gold?
I mean, you're kind of all there.
Yeah, I'll split the gold.
10 gold.
Yay!
It's what was it was the leftovers that somebody couldn't carry.
So
It spilled from the bag.
Yeah.
I look at the skeleton more.
You want to look at the skeleton more?
Yes.
Okay.
I know that dragon parts tend to be very important in making some magical items, so I'll go ahead and try to scavenge what I can.
Yeah, that's kind of where I was at too. Because I want to also find a focus as well.
Okay. What would you like to?
Roll survival to try to harvest parts.
Okay.
That'll be worth it later.
Do you have any tools for doing that?
I have a dagger.
I've got.
Okay.
So you want me to roll the same thing?
Sure.
I've probably got stuff in my traveler's bag,
17.
but like it's part of the generic stuff. What's your modifier?
1.
Do you mind just giving me advantage?
Yeah.
Cool, thank you.
Okay.
Because I actually roll with a +3, so I rolled a 20.
All right. Out of character, you know more about what goes into those items than I do.
So
Am I going to break the game if I give you
no, because
I think it'd be
dragon
more-
bone or something?
I think it'd be
no,
more kind of
because
for
all that
selling,
happens
so-
with those items is you then take them to somewhere else and use them to help you make items. It doesn't necessarily mean that you have dragon scale armor yet.
Right, I just mean like it doesn't
No.
immediately let you craft a
No.
really overpowered potion or something.
No.
Okay. Yeah.
But it's about what parts I get and like maybe some sort of cool alchemical benefit, but that's up to you.
Okay. You guys managed to get one dragon's claw loose without breaking it. You try prying the others out, and they kind of break apart on you. And I'm gonna say. I'm gonna say you managed to get 3 decent-sized dragon bones.
Which ones?
I don't know.
Let's see, you got DMG here, right?
Yeah.
6 red
Okay,
on
what
the
kind-
left side.
So, what size? Like small, medium, or large?
Of bones?
Yeah.
Small enough that you can probably not have to worry about how you're carrying it.
Okay.
Like I had this image in my head at first of you having a big dragon's bone slung over your back like Cloudstripe's Buster Sword. And I was like, no, not that big.
Quota's not here.
So what?
Quota would be like, I found a new weapon.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, it'll last for one swing.
Not necessarily. Depends on how long the dragon's been there, though.
So can I roll medicine and then ask a couple of questions regarding the medical status of this dead dragon?
Okay, yeah.
Okay, I know nothing. Never mind.
So you're not proficient with dragons.
Apparently not.
You skipped that.
I rolled a
class.
10.
You rolled a 10.
Yes.
So you skipped that class.
With
that
your
day.
Arcana?
You are able to discern that it was a red dragon.
Oh.
That's something.
So I want to take, like, did they crumble? The ones that broke for the claws, or is it just broke, like, in half?
They pretty much crumbled.
Okay.
They're in like, 6 or 7 pieces. It didn't go to dust, but it's not.
Yeah.
Nope.
I mean, if you wanted to just keep it for a trophy, you could
Well, 'cause that's
super
fine.
glue it back together.
So,
Actually, can I pick one of those up? The ones that are like in like 4 or 5 different pieces.
Okay.
Okay. It's in my bag. Just
do
for
you
now.
tell us what kind of dragon it was? In a way that you can without speaking?
I think
You're-
it's fair to assume I have some.
You're noticing when I said there was a little bit of like sinewy flesh left, some of that had retained its color.
I'm gonna point to it.
Okay. So I want to go and try and pry one of the teeth,
Okay.
and that for my arcane focus.
For an arcane focus. Okay.
Yeah, just to refine, I guess, the spells.
What will that do for you?
Arcane focuses, they are essentially just items that allow you to ignore material components.
Hmm.
Yeah, so as a warlock, I can have one.
Okay.
They said go to equipment, but this seems like more fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, make a survival check.
$17 again.
You got it. You've got your little
Okay.
dragon's tooth
Okay.
or teeth. I don't know if you needed more than one.
Roll. You figure it out.
You got
roll.
one. You got one.
You tell me how many I got.
You got a full set of teeth. Yay!
So you have a claw.
You can make dragon dentures out of it.
3 random body parts, which you could figure out later if that's necessary, which probably won't be. Oh well.
And that's in my equipment.
Is there any blood on the ground?
No.
Okay.
Do you want to try and
I mean,
pry the decaying flesh?
No, flesh isn't good when it's decaying.
yeah.
Oh, I can use it for poisons if I need it.
I mean, you've still got light going, right?
Yes.
Do you still have light going? Alright, so double light. Hell, make an investigation check.
Nope.
Nope. Okay, yeah, you don't see any blood.
No.
You just hear the little rabbi hopping around.
Alright, I'm gonna start getting annoyed. I'm just gonna go to it and shoot a fireball at it.
Son of a bitch, I told you not to do any combat.
Well, you shouldn't have provoked him.
Huh?
Is it gonna be like the birds in Legend of Zelda?
Oh god, no.
The chickens?
No.
Those were the final boss of that game.
They really were.
You see the video game myths video where they were trying to see, hey, can we bring a chicken to the Ganondorf fight in Breath of the Wild?
I think I did see that. That was amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, fine. Make an attack roll.
Alright, so how do I do that with magic?
It's a D20 plus your
Spellcasting?
proficiency plus your spellcasting modifier, which in your case
So
would be your
what's-
charisma.
Okay, so what's spellcasting ability?
Charisma modifier.
Okay. So it'd be my spell attack bonus
Yes.
plus the d20.
Yes.
Okay. 19.
And you cast what?
Firebolt.
Firebolt.
Okay, I thought you said fireball. I was like,
No, I ain't got that
damn.
yet. I
Talk
ain't got
about
that.
overkill. Yeah, no, you don't have to roll initiative or anything. You just
It's just dead.
8.
You,
No.
grilled
10.
rabite is on
Yes.
the menu.
yes. Mishka does this.
No.
Yeah, you just hear it.
No. No.
I have a question for science.
Science.
If we had a druid with us, and they could cast purify food and drink, could we theoretically be eating dragon right now?
No,
No.
because it's decaying, not disease.
There's even if that worked, it was you're talking less meat left on it than what the rabite has, and that wouldn't work.
Okay.
But there's
Beef
nothing left. Even if that could work and there was enough, it was basically a little bit of muscle. It wouldn't have. Yeah, it wouldn't have tasted. So you have some grilled rabite,
Okay.
We get out of the cave quickly.
and you do manage to get out of the cave, and
As it starts getting brighter, I say the same thing over to end double cycle.
okay. Okay, and so you do make it out of the cave, and is that working? Yeah, it's working. And you see some sunlight, but it's very shady, and you are in a dense jungle.
Ooh.
Looking around, you see little birds and things like that everywhere. Looking up, you would see kind of the walls of the cliffs, and they're shaped very differently from the mountains on the outside. You're seeing an almost sheer, it's almost straight vertical rock. It's very smooth. It comes almost to a point at its peaks. It's crumbled somewhat over the years, but it's basically an enormous crater.
Okay.
And you see some little streams and things like that. You hear birds and just general wildlife in the distance.
So does jungle automatically mean hot and humid, or?
It is noticeably warmer.
Okay.
I wouldn't say it's hot, but it is definitely more humid, yes.
Is there a path leading down from the cave?
Not so much as a worn trail or anything, but I mean, you can kind of find some footing.
So since you said it's a almost straight thing, are we? Is it kind of like climbing down the mountain, or like the side of the crater, or is it like a path?
The sheer stuff is mostly above you.
Oh, okay.
There is some descent going down, and so you're able to, if you're kind of peeking through the trees a little bit, you are able to see pretty far into the distance. And it's just trees as far as you can see.
Okay.
What would you like to do?
I'm gonna start heading down.
Okay.
I intend to be right behind him.
Okay. All right, so you do head down the path a bit, and go ahead and make a perception check.
Natural 20.
19.
Damn. Okay.
It hit, and I was like,
Nice. Okay, so up ahead, you there's a lot of vines kind of covering everything, but you feel like you kind of see some sort of unnatural shapes to the vines and foliage in some places. That's maybe a little bit too formed to have been natural. You see a bit of stone beneath the vines. And you do see a bit of a winding path kind of continuing onward towards the north.
Like next to my feet, can I find like a small pebble?
Okay.
And I would like to throw it where those vines are and see if anything immediately happens. Okay.
Nothing happens. You hear the pebble land.
Oh, it just stays in there.
I'm gonna go to one of the mounds and try and brush some of the vines off.
Okay. You see stone. Looks like it was once part of a wall. There's some little just ornate carvings and things like that that are etched into the stone.
Can I see if those carvings have a religious significance?
Make a religion check.
Natural 20!
Whoa!
I was gonna assist, but okay.
You don't even have to walk up before your eyes just happen to fall on the symbol of a tree. And yeah, so you hold it up to kind of point.
Yeah.
Okay. You see some of the carvings indicate a woman floating above the tree.
Ooh.
And just other little figures near the base of it. But most of the carvings, aside from that one, are just just intricate little decorative.
So
Really
tell
good.
tell me if this is possible given the level of technology we have with us. Do you know, like as a kid, if you grab a pencil, put a piece of paper over like a coin or something, and scribble over it, you'll get the imprint of it?
Right, you can do a rubbing.
Yeah. I would like to see if I can do something like that to these carvings and get an imprint of them.
Okay.
Or if I can't, at least try to get an approximation of them drawn.
Do you have any paper with you to use for that?
I have a, what do you call it, priest's pack, which includes writing material. Let me make sure. So you can get into them and I'll get back to you with what's inside.
Okay. So are you just still brushing away some of the...
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you, it was a low wall. Looks like it might have been, it's only about this tall. Looks like it might have once been a platform or a stage of some sort. You kind of make your way around it as you're, kind of clearing some of this brush and cutting it away. You said you have a knife, right?
Yeah.
So you're cutting some of it away, and you find around the corner, you find what looks to be some crumbled stairs leading up this little stage.
Currently I do not.
I think you have the brochure.
Can I use that?
Sure.
Okay, I attempt to use
You can
that.
certainly try. The only thing I'm thinking of with that is that these carvings are pressed into the rock.
So I'll get a inverse of them?
Probably.
Okay.
Very roughly. Yeah, we can say you do.
Okay.
All right, so you are pulling away the vines, cutting them away. You've found these steps that lead up this little platform. Most of
As part of my hermit background, I get a scroll case stuffed full of notes from my studies and prayers.
Okay.
So, can those be used?
Sure.
Okay.
You're wasting paper.
Oh, it's just paper.
Okay.
Might have been something important for you.
Apparently not.
Apparently not. Yeah. I found the Rosetta Stone, and this is more important.
Now, it's before you do that.
Yeah.
I should point out that it's not a unique design.
Okay.
It's just it's an older version of something that's familiar. It's for your class and background and everything, for who your character is, it's beautiful, but it's not something that is going to change history.
Okay. I'll use the brochure.
Okay.
Yeah.
So as you continue clearing away this brush and kind of deciphering what this platform was, or deciphering that it was a platform of some kind, you start, now that you've seen this one, you kind of start noticing other shapes around the jungle like it, and you start to notice columns and things like that in the distance, just random pieces of a very, very ancient building that have crumbled away. So. Heck yeah! Who was that? I cannot quite read the notification on there. Hi, call me Jack. Okay, Oosh. I'm just gonna call you Oosh because that's what your username starts with. But you asked me to call you Jack, so okay. Hi, Jack. Welcome to the stream. As you can see, it's non-stop excitement here. All right.
I get my shield and mace out.
You get your shield and mace out. Oh, good lord. Wow, I'm gonna get in trouble with Twitch. I had this thing set as VR chat improv for the whole time, so. Age of Mana, episode 1. Let's update our info there. Okay. That should fix it.
What if this whole thing has been a VR simulation, man?
Yeah. Well, last weekend we had the real world colliding with VR. We had a real artist having a concert in VR. So now it's the other way around. So. All right. So you guys seem to have investigated this thing.
Do we want to go inside or?
There's not really an inside to go
okay.
into. I mean, this thing is barely.
What time of day is it? By the time we get down to this area?
I'd say it's early afternoon. It's probably still around noonish.
Okay.
Anything else from?
Is the layout of this former site of religious significance any similar to temple designs back on the continent? Like, would I be able to tell by the layout that this was a temple or not?
There's not really enough standing to tell where this building's all four walls were. You have this one short wall and stairs leading up it, but then it just kind of crumbles away at the other side.
Okay. And is it? Can we tell if it has been just natural neglect and corrosion that has done this to the building, or was it destroyed at some point?
I'd say it's too overgrown for you to be able to make any kind of determination on that. Is there anything that Bernard would like to add? Well, guys, at least I haven't killed him.
That's what you think. Check his pulse.
All right, so I assume you guys continue onward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
And there isn't any. I guess by virtue of missing vegetation or whatnot, are there any paths, either like animal paths or like people paths or like anything that would hint at frequent passage by either people, animal, monsters, or anything like that?
Make a survival check, yeah.
20.
19 plus 1?
18 plus 2.
Oh.
Nice.
Sure.
Yeah,
My intelligence is +1. My wisdom is +2.
Yeah, you're able to discern some,
Patterns.
yeah, just a few patterns from some of the animals in the area, things like that.
Would
It doesn't seem like there's like it's particularly leading anywhere, but
Okay, and do I get to feel like what? Are they a specific type of animal or just a whole bunch of animal tracks?
it's a lot of different animal
Okay.
tracks.
And there's no directionality to them. Like they're not all going to one place.
No.
Okay.
Well, it's a mix. There's a lot that's just random, and there's quite a few that are heading kind of northeast.
Okay, I would like to tap Elsinore
Elsinore.
on his shoulder and point first to the tracks and then to northeast.
Okay. Elsinore.
I'll start heading that way.
Yay!
And so you guys do head northeast, and as you're kind of working your way through the jungle, you do eventually come to you've crossed several little streams and things like that. You do eventually come to what seems to be kind of a clearing.
Okay.
And you see another set of steps leading upward, very similar to the ones that you saw before. It's the same sort of material, same kind of stone and things like that. These are a little bit better kept. There's a wide stage at the top of them, wide platform, and that platform seems to kind of fade into or get covered by towards its back some more dirt that's kind of piled in from the rest of the surrounding area. So there's on both sides of that platform there's kind of a hill that's starting to form. And beyond that platform, you see kind of sticking in the ground at pretty sharp angle like this, you see a very rusted sword.
Mishka rushes forward, tries to pull the sword,
Okay.
but is unable to.
Okay. Make a strength check.
Athletics.
He is awake. Fine, athletics.
6.
Athletics 6. Okay. You are not able to.
Mishka's dreams of becoming the queen of this land have been shattered, but she gestures over
Okay.
her front.
Yeah, I want to look the sword over better. Just
Okay.
see if there's any runes or anything like that on there.
Okay.
Can I help him?
Make an Arcana check.
Oh. Eight.
8. You do not see any indication of anything magical.
Okay.
Very well.
You okay?
Yeah, I see him gesturing for that sword, and I'll go ahead and do my athletics check.
Okay.
I got it.
Okay, so you are taking hold of the sword. Did you try to pull it out, or
Not
did you
yet.
just okay?
I wanted to make sure there's no traps,
18.
basically.
Okay.
Or at least no magical traps.
Yeah. That you know of.
Yeah. I didn't find anything. The death armor.
You pull on the sword, and it starts to budge, and then you feel a sting in your hand, just like an almost electrical sting.
Okay.
But other than that, it doesn't. It started to give just a little bit, but
We just need to find oil, invent rubber gloves, and get this thing out. Got it.
No, I'm fine with the sting. It's not doing any actual damage, so I'm gonna prestidigitation first to clean it up.
you're using prestidigitation to.
Clean the sword to see if I can read it.
Okay. So with the prestidigitation, let's see, and there's no roll for that, right?
No.
Okay. You do manage to clean some of the rust off, and it is a white blade, and it looks like it used to have a very ornate hilt, and some of the decorative pieces of the hilt have been broken off. You do see, well, I don't know what you see yet, so make some more, taking a closer look, or
Investigation.
whoever would like to do that.
For religion? Well, you do investigation first.
You roll whichever you feel is most appropriate, and I'll give you information that's appropriate to what you rolled.
I'm gonna roll religion.
Either investigation or perception.
Okay.
Perception. 15.
15.
Sorry, 17.
17.
No.
15 on the roll, I think it's not prison based.
15?
Yes.
Okay. You see what looks like kind of spiral designs that would have come out from the center of the hilt in all four directions.
Okay.
And some kind of thinner lines that are branching out towards the blade, and thinner lines branching out onto the hilt.
Do we know if those four spiraling lines are like symbolize anything in particular?
Make a religion check.
14 plus 3, so 17.
Okay. You are pretty sure that it's the symbol of the tree.
Okay, I pull my
The
symbol out
Okay.
and point at the.
you hold the symbol up
Ooh.
near the sword, and as you hold it near it, you kind of notice the spirals of the sword match up to the branches of the tree and the roots of the tree.
Can I look for a spot on the sword that my symbol would fit into?
You do not see
Okay.
one.
Probably in the tree itself.
Well, I mean the tree is basically guts. I don't know.
Huh? Oh, yeah. Now, are you... Okay, what else are you doing with the sword then at this point?
So with a 17 religion, are there any other significant things from a religious point of view? Is there a specific legendary sword in the canon, so to speak, of the goddess of mana?
Or one of her champions' swords.
Like
You
her cousins, uncles, brothers, nephews, roommate.
You recall some tall tales of some. This is kind of like a Hercules type story to the real
Okay.
world. Okay, or Thor might even be more appropriate because Thor has Mjolnir,
Okay.
and so it's assumed to be, completely tall tale bullcrap. But you do recall some sort of legend about a dragon that could swallow entire cities, and a man with a sword who slew
okay.
it. You recall another one about a giant fortress that flew in the sky, and a guy with a sword who smashed the fortress with the sword, which has
one
always
does.
seemed laughable. So you have no idea if any of that relates, but
Since when we came out of the cave, it was noon. What time is it now?
it's probably about 2 or 3 in the afternoon.
Okay.
So what are you doing right now?
I'm kind of looking at Elsinore. Like,
Are you gesturing towards?
the sword.
Towards Elsinore?
Yeah. We all gave it a try. Your turn.
I made it budge. I probably just need a second attempt. Which I show.
Yeah, I'll try pulling it out.
Okay.
15.
Okay. You touch the sword, and the moment your hand touches it, it doesn't hurt, but you are pushed back about 5 feet. I'd say make a strength saving throw.
Nine.
9? Okay. You struggle, but you do end up falling flat on your butt.
Mishka goes rushing.
I shall go ahead and give this sword another try.
Okay.
This time, knowing it's going to try to shock me, I'm going to go ahead and shock it as I'm grabbing it.
What?
I'm going to try to shock it as I'm grabbing it using shocking grasp as I pull it out.
It. What kind of damage would shocking grasp
Electric.
do? Yeah, I know electric, but like.
Magnitude.
D8.
Huh?
It's a
A D8?
D8, yeah.
Okay. You suffer 2 points of shocking damage as it shocks you back.
Got it. But anyway, still.
Nope.
Nope.
Wrong
Okay.
choice.
Why don't you try again?
Now,
Yeah, because the only one
you know
was
what?
shocked.
You know what? I think I had figured this out beforehand, but I do want to make sure I'm not being unfair to everyone. Can you each tell me your alignments, please?
Chaotic good.
Okay. Bernard.
Chaotic neutral.
Okay.
Neutral good.
Okay. Okay.
I have a theory on why for me.
Huh?
I have a theory on why for me.
I had been, now that you've told me those, I do remember now, I had been toying with it being alignment based, and that was why I asked, because I couldn't remember if I had gone with that. I did not. It is, so I will, since I had already asked that, I will put it out there, it is not alignment based.
Oh,
Okay, let's go.
What are you
Let's
doing?
do it.
he's trying to grab it himself since he.
First, I would like to spend 10 minutes casting ritual on myself. It doesn't have any kind of effect whatsoever. It just makes me feel better. And
What spell are you casting
He's
with
not.
that ritual?
I rolled a 3,
Okay,
which means I rolled a 5.
that's for your strength?
Yes.
Okay, so you are casting a ritual.
I know. No. Well, that was before it, but yeah.
You spend 10 minutes casting a ritual,
Okay.
and then you're placing your hand on the sword and
Yeah.
attempting to, okay. You get a little, kind of a flash of light in your
Ooh.
mind. And you just kind of blink a little bit, and there's absolutely no resistance. The sword pulls free.
Is that
So
what?
is this not a moment you'd speak?
Yeah. Bow before me, I am your queen! And then she kind of looks around and blushes. I'm like,
You gonna mend it?
so question. Is this a full sword or is it like a broken sword or...
It is full.
Okay.
It doesn't look to be in great shape,
Okay.
but
I will probably do that tonight, yes.
okay.
Just awkward looking back and forth. Like, what are you still going to do now?
That's fun, but whatever.
Whatever. Okay. Doesn't. Yeah, that seems to be it. You have this sword now. It's a. It is an iron longsword.
She now has an iron sword, and she's holding it like this. It is a item of religious significance to her. I don't think she's going to be using it in combat anytime soon.
Okay.
Well, I'm not fixed, so I hope not.
All right. So.
Do I, besides the initial flash of light, do I feel anything else, or that's the end of the episode, so to speak?
That's pretty much all that you
Okay.
that you feel.
I'd like to look at my companions to see. Well, first of all, to see what he's doing.
What?
What Elsinore is doing.
Okay. Would you like to share with the class, Elsinore?
Nothing at the moment.
Not what?
Nothing at the moment.
Okay.
Yeah, I think Mishka is just going to stand there next to the thing and just look at the thing and look at the sword again. And then look at the thing and then look at the sword again.
What thing?
Look at the place
The
the sword
hole.
came out. Yeah, the hole basically.
Okay.
And just be bewildered of what just happened.
Yeah, it just seemed to be stuck in the dirt.
Okay.
It was. I mean, it was at an angle too. I mean, it was like this.
Okay.
So.
Someone had to throw it to get that.
Ah. Well, Mishka now believes she's somehow chosen by the gods, so the size of her head will inflate as the campaign goes on.
Yeah, and she's such a braggart, you know.
Well, the first
She
thing
may now.
Yeah.
She may
Yeah.
now.
Yeah. She may
You
decide
never
it's
know. Yeah.
time to get rid of that vow of silence or
Yep.
something.
Oh, she that told it to bow for their queen.
Okay. And all right. So do you guys choose to continue forward or?
You said it's
Head
round
back.
3?
Hmm?
Yeah, I'd say we place. At least I'd keep moving forward.
Okay.
Is it fair to say that both here and out, and also retrospectively, we've been marking our path on trees and whatnot, so we
Yeah.
know which way we're going?
Probably.
I mean, you're the outliner, so you probably have been doing
Yes, I would have.
Okay.
Okay. That's good.
Magical sword. No idea what it is.
You know what it is? It's a prank sword.
It's a prank
like
sword.
those pins that you try to use when they shock you. Are we going northeast? Or?
Yeah, so like I said, I keep moving in the
Okay.
path, in the direction we've been going already.
Okay. So the jungle seems to get less dense at this point, and you start to you notice a few kind of small ponds and stuff that all the streams throughout the area have kind of collected into. And you see a very, very large clearing up ahead. It's if your boat could be on land, it would be large enough to house your ship comfortably within the clearing of these trees. It's pretty big. At the far end of the clearing, you see what looks like a stone door. There's nothing else around it. There's a little bit of stone floor, but it's just kind of built up, and it's just a door that is closed.
And so it's a door in the middle of nowhere, basically, right?
Mhm.
Okay.
I mean, it's
I would like to.
sitting on. I mean, it's on the floor.
Yeah.
It's
So it's on foundation.
yeah.
I would like to
It
go
looks
up
like
to
it was part of a building, but
I would like to go up to it and very cautiously open it up,
okay.
half expecting what I see on the other side not to be what's supposed to be.
You are correct.
Okay then.
That's what I was like,
Yeah. I think like she kind of opens it and yeah, it just goes backwards like a few steps, and like I try to hide behind him and slightly push him forward.
You open up this door, and what you see on the other side is not what you would have expected to see. It's not the same trees that you're seeing here. And I think that's where we'll end the session for tonight.
Okay.
Cool.
So, a bit early, and I'm sorry it was dull. With the concert, I did not have the time to roll up any kind of like actual combat. But I will have that for next week, and I did manage to kind of accommodate all of that in the story. So there's actually reasons you didn't encounter anything, and so on. And I'm sorry for boring you.
You're good. It's the first session, like, but I get it.
First session and first time DMing.
Yeah.
I didn't kill them, and they're not rioting. So yeah, I don't know. They might riot as soon. They might riot as soon as I turn off the stream. But so, thank you all so much for joining us, and Mrs. Smith, if you're still watching, thank you for the raid. Really appreciate it, and means a lot on the first session here, especially. So, looking forward to next week. Looking forward to continuing this and introducing the next couple characters. So you guys hopefully will be able to make it next week. No plans that you know of.
That Excalibur scene really needed a quota.
Oh God!
He wouldn't have had a problem. He just ripped it out.
If Quota had tried to pull the sword,
It would explode.
it would have come out of the dirt and beat him over the head in midair with the hilt, and then stuck itself back into the ground.
Okay.
No. Because it's perfectly Quota. So, anyway, thank you so much for joining us, and we will see you next time. You guys have a wonderful night. Bye.